My name is Austin Harms, I'm 21 years old, and I'm an aspiring music producer from Visalia, California. When I was a kid, I used to sit in the car with my family, and when the radio would be on, I'd be banging my head against the chair to the beat of the song, and that led my mom to convince me to start taking drum lessons when I was in 5th grade. And from there, I really enjoyed it. I went once a week. I would practice all the time, sit in my room and just bang on my drum set, piss off my family. But it really led me to realize that I love music and I really connect with it. And that's when I started getting into other instruments like guitar and piano. I taught myself how to play those, and I started producing music on my computer with some software I downloaded, but I had no idea what I was doing. And it wasn't until my senior year I took a music theory class, and that really helped me understand how music worked and how I could write songs and things like that. And I would take the stuff I learned in that class and I would apply it to the songs I was making at home on my computer, and they just kept getting better and better, and I really enjoyed it. And that's where, when I was applying to colleges, I realized I want to do music. My songwriting process is kind of strange. It's all over the place, but I usually sit down and I start with the piano, and I just kind of lay down some chords or something like that. And sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't, but I might come back to it 2 weeks later and I'll be like, oh, I could add this sound, and I'll just look through and I'll just add something else, and it'll be shaped by the mood I'm in at that moment. It's the same way with lyrics. When I sit down and I'll write down lyrics, and then I don't know what to do with them, and then I come back to them 2 weeks later and I'm like, oh, I could put this with that piano thing I made yesterday, and then I can add this guitar part that I came up with just now, or throw in the drum track and stuff like that, and then somehow it all comes together. All the parts seem really jumbled, but then it all comes together somehow, and I'm like, wow, how did I do that? And I think that's partly how the different influences come into play, because I'll be listening to Kanye, and then I'll sit down and I'll make some drum track, and then come back to it 2 weeks later when I was I was listening to ambient music all day, and then I'll throw some weird pads over it, and then I'll listen to some other music, and then I'll throw it on, and then that's how it all kind of comes together as this weird collection of influences. Listening to music helps me, and making music helps me too. And so I think the end goal for me is if someone listens to my music and they get something from it and they can relate to it in some way, then I've succeeded.